to get to where I am today. And the first basic lesson in life is all about choices. From the minute that you wake up in the morning until you go to bed. Well, what you have to realize, every choice you make, there comes consequences. And so the point is, when you start making better choices in life, you're going to have a better life because of better consequences. And within those choices, there's one entity that you always have to recognize, and I call it the universe. And you can call it God, Buddha, or whatever you want to call it, whatever relates to you in that spiritual context. I use the term universe because it's so vast, and everything in this universe is created by some God that created all of us. So out of that, from a spiritual nature, the most precious element in all of that is gratitude. You're going to have to learn how to stir your consciousness towards gratitude in everything you do, the little things to the big things. Because what's going to happen, there's going to be a metamorphosis in that process that's going to feed you like nothing you've ever had. So you have to really focus on that. And I know in a business like this, you're going to encounter all types of people, all types of personalities. People that are going to piss you off, people that you cannot satisfy. But if you approach all of that energy from the consciousness of gratitude and just be grateful for the moment, because every negative moment you're going to have in life, there's a lesson to be learned. That dark cloud has a silver lining. And the only way that you're going to rise up out of that dark cloud is look for the silver lining in that cloud. The universe is trying to tell you something. It's basically what that's doing. It's that basic. So, when this character evolved 17 years ago,
Wow.
I was a flight attendant with TWA originally. Then American Airlines brought us out in 2000. And so 9/11 hit. So the first people to be furloughed were all the TWA employees, and I was one of them. So a month after 9/11, I was furloughed from my job. Luckily, I had a backup because I owned a freelance floral design service in St. Louis at the time, and I'd been in that business for 10 years. So I had something to fall back on. But I also pursued a therapist in 1996 to deal with some personal issues with my father over his abuse, both mental, physical, yada, yada, yada. And so I didn't want to hang on to that baggage. So I pursued a therapist, and I remember one of the sessions, he gave me this antidote for depression. He said, the next time you feel yourself slipping into that mindset, go do something you know for sure that makes you feel good. That's what happened a month after 9/11. I was living in the Central West End in St. Louis at the time, and I went back in my closet, pulled my baton out that I hadn't twirled in 30 years since I was in high school, put on exercise gear, MP3 player, went into Forest Park, like Piedmont Park is to Atlanta, to literally twirl my own spirit out of depression. I had no clue the effect that it was going to initially have on the voyeurs. And the costuming didn't come into it until Christmas time. And the reason being is because I knew, universally speaking, laughter is our natural healing gas. And so I decided that we were going into Christmas and everybody was still down and out and crazy during that time. And the idea, that's where the idea of costuming came in, was just to create laughter. I didn't care whether people were laughing with me or at me. It did not matter. We had to laugh our way out of this. And now I'm 17 years in it, as if it was only yesterday. And the blueprint that the universe has laid for me is just beyond anything I have ever dreamed. And the journey that I've already partaked in for the last 16 years has taken me to things that it wasn't in my dream. So my message to you is that pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to consciously what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is going to materialize somewhere in your life, in your daily life, whether it's positive, negative, or indifferent. And that's the truth of the matter. I don't care what nobody else tells you. And I'm trying to keep it simple. So that's when this whole process started. And now, I'm getting ready to make a cameo in my third movie. This weekend, they're filming a new movie called Baby Driver with Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx. So the scene that I'm in is being shot Saturday. So it's just amazing when you surrender to the universe will give you anything you ask for. So be careful for what you ask for, okay? Whether it's good, bad, and indifferent, because it will show up. And it's not going to show up on your time clock. It never will. That's how the universe works. Because it's already laid the blueprint. It knows when you're supposed to have it, when you're not supposed to have it, and you're not going to get it until. If you try to take it before you're supposed to have it, you're going to lose it. So what I want to say to you, if you want to be a hairdresser, a makeup artist, or whatever in this business, be the best there is. And let me tell you what the definition for the perfect job. Whatever you find that you are passionate about, whether it's putting lipstick on everybody or makeup or doing their hair, go at it like you're going to play and you make money with it, with that attitude. That's the definition for the perfect job. You have to have that passion in it in order to overcome all the obstacles that your clients are going to throw at you, and then you deal with out of gratitude. Do y'all get where I'm going? Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because this is as elementary as I can tell you. And I'll be turning 64 in 2 months. And I'm speaking from wisdom. I have been around the barn that you're just now traveling. You hear me? And it's real. And that's as real as you'll ever have it. I don't care what nobody else tells you. But that is the bottom line truth of the matter. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou from a poem that she wrote to her grandmother. She said, I came as one, but I'm here for 10,000, tenfold. And I surrender to the dream that the universe has for me. And that's all I'm doing. I am living a dream that I dreamed. When this spirit of this character evolved 17 years ago, everything that's happening to me right now is coming to fruition. Sometimes it takes that long to get there because there is a process you're going to have to go through along with the universe for the universe to acknowledge the fact that you are ready to go. And you can't be, waiting until the door of opportunity step in front of you. You have to get ready. So when that opportunity hits you, you knock the door open and take the hinges off because that's where your next client is coming from. Y'all get that? Mm-hmm. So you always have to go at it, whatever you're doing in this salon, from that perspective, if you want to be successful. If this is what you're passionate about. And you will make, the money will come. I had to eat peanut butter and jelly, pork and beans and franks for a long time to get to where I am. And sometimes in life you have to do what you have to do in order to get from point A to point B. So I want to thank Jim for connecting with me and allowing me to have the opportunity to come in and share with you part of my true story. Because what I really wish for everybody in this room is that whatever you do in life, you have as much fun and as much joy and as much happiness as I'm experiencing. It's not exclusive to me. Each and every one of you sitting here can have that same joy. But you have to work for it. And you have to be realistic. And if you operate out of gratitude, when you get out of the bed in the morning, the universe will take care of the rest of it. But you have to be in that consciousness. You can't come in with an attitude. You can't come in with what happened last night. You can't bring your relationship to work. All this stupid stuff that shows up in all of our lives, because we're all human. But you learn how to deal with it through your consciousness. And you know what your greatest guide is? Does anybody know what intuitiveness is? Your intuitive gut is your direct line to God. When you're going down that highway and you get to the Y of the road, and God said, okay, go to the left or go to the right. And he tells you go to the right and you turn left out of your, I don't know, obstinance or, your ego. Oh, I'm going to go on down here. And you get in and you'll run up against a brick wall. And then you're right back where you started from. So if every decision you make going forward, every morning you get out of the bed, you sit still long enough to listen to that intuitive gut, God will never lead you wrong. I didn't learn the tool of that until I turned 60, how to sit still. You have to physically sit still and listen to your inner voice. And it'll take you wherever you need to go, safely. So I'm going to leave you with that, because I want all of y'all to go safely. Thank you, Jim. Seriously, it is really that simple. We get caught up in our day-to-day stuff, our personal stuff. You have to deal with that. You have to put it all in perspective. If you need help from a therapist, if you need help from somebody else, don't feel shame. Go get some help. Talk to somebody that has a good message to give you. And become a support system for each other. Y'all work here every day. It's almost like you're coming to the same family table. You're just not having dinner yet. But use it from that perspective. And you can turn this atmosphere into a joyful noise to the Lord. So when the clients walk through the door, they'll come back and bring somebody else next time. That's how you do it. I know, because I own a floral design service in St. Louis, and I did not spend one dime on advertising. It all came to me through word of mouth. It took me 5 years to get the foundation. I knew that going into it, but those were the only people I really wanted to serve. And the same thing can happen to you. It doesn't have to be flowers. It could be hair, makeup, or whatever. But you all are in the beauty business. So that's part of the requirement. So y'all hang in there.